For 9 years, I believed I was building a family. Not renting a place in one. Building it. My name is Brandon, and I own a small electrical contracting company. The work is honest, but it is hard. Long days inside unfinished buildings. Cold mornings pulling cable through walls. Emergency calls after midnight when somebody's power failed and they needed a man willing to leave his bed. Every dollar came from my hands. And almost every dollar went home. When I married Melissa, Noah was 8 and Haley was 6. Their biological father appeared when it suited him, usually with a cheap gift and an expensive excuse. I never tried to replace him. I only tried to become the man who stayed. I paid the mortgage, the vehicles, insurance, phones, school trips, football fees, dance costumes, clothes they outgrew before the tags felt old. When Noah wanted driving lessons, I bought the best package available. When Haley needed money for a class trip, I paid before Melissa even saw the form. I called them my children. I thought they called me family. Then one evening, during dinner, Noah showed me what 9 years had purchased. Nothing. We were arguing about his grades. I told him football could wait until his schoolwork improved. He pushed his plate away and laughed. "You can't tell me what to do." Melissa stared at her food. I asked him to repeat himself. He stood, looked directly at me, and said it loudly enough for the whole house to hear. "You're just my mom's husband. My real father is the only father I need." Haley smirked. Melissa said nothing. That silence hurt more than his words. I stood slowly. I carried my plate to the sink. I washed it. Dried my hands. Then I went upstairs. No shouting. No threats. Just a decision. By the next afternoon, Noah's driving lessons were cancelled. His football academy had been notified. His phone was removed from my family plan. His car insurance was terminated. The gas card was frozen. The monthly spending transfer stopped. His coach received one sentence from me. His real father will be handling everything from now on. By evening, panic had entered the house. Noah's biological father had refused to pay for any of it. He said football was too expensive. Driving lessons were unnecessary. Insurance was Melissa's problem. Noah shouted that I was destroying his future. I told him I was respecting his choice. 3 days later, I came home early and heard voices in the kitchen. I stopped in the hallway. Haley was laughing. "He'll keep paying," she said. "He's too attached to us." Noah answered. "That's all he's good for anyway. He's basically a walking wallet." Then Haley said the words that finally buried whatever remained inside me. "He was never really part of this family." I stood there listening to the children I had fed, clothed, protected, and defended discuss me like a machine they expected to keep dispensing money. They were not afraid I would leave. They were certain I was too weak. That night, I opened the cabinet in my office and removed every receipt, statement, contract, and payment record I had saved. 9 years of support covered the desk. Mortgage transfers, medical bills, tuition deposits, sports programs, cars, vacations, phones. Thousands of small sacrifices that had vanished from their memory the moment they received them. Melissa found me sitting among the papers. "They didn't mean it," she whispered. I looked at her. "Respect doesn't suddenly appear after another payment clears." She began to cry. She said they were young, confused, angry. I asked why their confusion always cost me money. She had no answer. So I made the final cuts. I put my share of the house up for sale. I transferred the utilities into Melissa's name. I canceled the streaming accounts, family subscriptions, extra insurance policies, gym memberships, and every unnecessary expense I had quietly carried. The house changed within days. The internet slowed. The second car disappeared. Football ended. Haley's activities stopped. Melissa called their father again. He refused again. That was when they started apologizing. Noah told me he had spoken in anger. Haley said she had always loved me. Melissa promised things would be different. But their apologies always returned to the same question. When would I start paying again? They did not miss me. They missed access. They were not mourning a father. They were mourning a lifestyle. So I left. A year later, I met Emily. She never asked what I could buy for her. She asked whether I had slept, whether work had been difficult, whether I wanted company or silence. When I helped her, she thanked me. When I spoke, she listened. Respect felt unfamiliar at first, almost suspicious. Then it felt like peace. I heard Melissa still struggled. Noah never returned to the football academy. Haley blamed everyone except herself. Their father remained exactly what he had always been, absent when responsibility arrived. And I finally understood something I should have learned years earlier. Some people do not love the man carrying the weight. They love that the weight is being carried. The moment he sets it down, they call him cruel. But was I cruel? Or did I simply stop being valuable only for what I provided? Tell me, would you have gone back, or would you have chosen peace too? Peace did not arrive all at once. At first, it felt like guilt. I would wake before dawn in Emily's apartment and listen to the pipes knocking inside the walls. For years, that hour had belonged to unpaid bills, school schedules, football practices, and the quiet fear that one missed contract might shake the entire household. Now there was only silence. I did not trust it. Emily would find me sitting at the kitchen table with cold coffee between my hands. "You're waiting for something bad," she said one morning. I looked toward the dark window. "I'm waiting for someone to need money." She did not laugh. She placed her hand over mine and said, "Maybe someone can need you without needing your wallet." That sentence stayed with me. A month later, Melissa called. I had ignored most of her messages, but this one came from an unfamiliar number. I answered because part of me still feared emergencies. That instinct had survived longer than the marriage. Her voice sounded smaller. "The house is going into foreclosure." I closed my eyes. For nearly 9 years, I had paid that mortgage before anything else. Before replacing worn work boots. Before taking a vacation. Before buying myself anything that was not necessary. Melissa continued quickly, as if speed could turn responsibility into sympathy. "I'm behind 3 months. The utilities are past due. Noah can't get to work because the insurance lapsed. Haley might have to leave her school." I waited. Then came the real reason for the call. "We need help. Not I miss you. Not I failed you. Help." I asked whether she had contacted the children's father. "He says he has his own expenses." I almost smiled. Of course he did. Men like him always had expenses. They simply never included their children. Melissa began crying. She said Noah was angry. Haley barely spoke. The house had become unbearable. Then she said, "They understand now." I looked around Emily's kitchen. A grocery list hung on the refrigerator. My name was written beside coffee, not mortgage, insurance, tuition, or emergency. "What do they understand?" I asked. "That you were important." Important. The words sounded calculated. I had been important when the lights stayed on. Important when the gas tank was full. Important when forms arrived with payment deadlines printed in red. But had I ever been loved? "I won't send money," I said. Her crying stopped. The silence on the line became hard. "So that's it? You're going to let your family lose everything?" "My family?" I said it quietly. She heard the question inside those 2 words. "You know what I mean?" "Yes," I answered. "I finally do." That evening, Noah came to my shop. I saw him through the office window, standing between coils of cable and metal toolboxes. He looked older than I remembered. Not wiser. Just tired. My foreman asked whether he should send him away. I said no. Noah stepped into my office but did not sit. His eyes moved across the room, taking in the framed licenses, job schedules, and photographs of completed projects. For years, he had enjoyed the money my company produced without ever asking what it cost me to earn it. "Mom says you won't help," he said. "That's right." His jaw tightened. "We could lose the house." "I know." "Haley might have to change schools." "I know." He stared at me, waiting for guilt to bend my spine. "It used to. Not anymore." "You can afford it," he said. There it was. Not love. Arithmetic. I leaned back in my chair. "You came here because you think I still owe you something." He looked away. "I came to apologize." "No. You came because the bank sent a letter." His face reddened. "I said I was sorry." "You said it after the football stopped. After the car disappeared. After your father refused to pay. Every apology came attached to an invoice." He struck the edge of my desk with his palm. "So you're just going to punish us forever?" I stood. "Noah, consequences are not punishment simply because you dislike them." His anger cracked. For 1 second, I saw the child I had once taught to ride a bicycle. The boy who had fallen, scraped his knee, and reached for me without thinking. That memory nearly destroyed me. Then he spoke. "You were supposed to be better than our dad." I felt something cold settle inside my chest. I was. The words left me before I could soften them. I stayed. I paid. I showed up. I protected you from every consequence he created. And you used my presence to excuse his absence. Noah's eyes filled, but I could not tell whether the tears came from grief or fear. "What do you want from me?" he asked. "Nothing." That was the truth. Once, I wanted him to call me Dad. Then I wanted respect. Then gratitude. Now I wanted nothing. And there is no distance wider than the one created when a man stops hoping. Noah left without another word. 2 weeks later, the house was listed by the bank. Melissa moved into a small rental with Haley. Noah took a warehouse job and used the bus. I heard these things from mutual acquaintances. I did not celebrate. Their suffering brought me no joy. But neither did it create an obligation. Emily and I bought a modest house the following spring. On the day we received the keys, she handed them to me and said, "This belongs to both of us." No conditions. No hidden bill. Just belonging. That night, I stood in the empty living room and listened to our voices echo against bare walls. I realized I had spent years paying for a home where I was treated like a guest. Now I owned less. But I belonged more. So tell me this, when people only discover your value after losing your money, are they mourning you, or merely the life you financed? Months passed, and I stopped checking my phone every time it vibrated. For years I had lived as if every ring meant another problem I was expected to solve. A broken furnace. An overdue payment. A forgotten school fee. A flat tire. Someone always needed Brandon, but nobody seemed to need me. They only needed what I could fix. Emily noticed the change before I did. "You smile more now," she said one evening while we painted the spare bedroom in our new house. "I do. You don't carry the world on your shoulders anymore." I wanted to believe her. Still, some wounds heal slowly. Every now and then I would drive past the old neighborhood, not because I wanted to go back, but because part of me still wondered if those 9 years had meant anything at all. One rainy afternoon, I found my answer. I had just finished inspecting a commercial renovation when I stopped at a small grocery store for coffee. As I walked toward the entrance, I recognized Noah loading bags into the back of an old hatchback. He looked exhausted. His expensive football gear had been replaced by a faded warehouse uniform. His shoulders, once full of teenage confidence, now carried the weight of adulthood. He noticed me immediately. For a moment neither of us moved. Then he walked over. "I've been hoping I'd run into you," he said quietly. I nodded but said nothing. "I wasn't honest the last time we talked." "I know." He looked down at the wet pavement. "I didn't come to your office because I miss you. I came because I thought you would rescue us again." His honesty caught me off guard. I kept blaming you. He continued. It was easier than admitting we treated you like an ATM. The words hurt because they were true. When Dad refused to help again, he laughed bitterly. I finally realized he'd never actually been there. You were. Rain dripped from the edge of the store roof between us. I've replayed that dinner 1,000 times. He whispered. If I could take those words back, I would. I believed him. That surprised me. The arrogance was gone. The entitlement had disappeared. Standing in front of me wasn't the teenager who had humiliated me at the dinner table. It was a young man discovering that actions leave permanent scars. I appreciate you saying that, I replied. His eyes lifted with a flicker of hope. But it doesn't erase what happened. He nodded immediately. I know. I forgave you months ago. You did? Yes. His face softened. But forgiveness isn't the same as rebuilding trust. That sentence seemed heavier than anything else I had said. I understand. Noah, for 9 years I loved you like my own son. I never kept score. I never asked for repayment. All I wanted was enough respect to believe those sacrifices mattered. They did. They matter now. He closed his eyes. You're right. Neither of us spoke for nearly a minute. Finally, he reached into his wallet and pulled out a folded photograph. It showed all 4 of us standing beside the truck I had bought years earlier after finishing one of my biggest electrical contracts. Noah was wearing his football uniform. Haley was smiling. Melissa had her arm around me. I remembered that day. Back then I thought the picture captured a family. Now I realized it had only captured a moment. I carry this because it reminds me of who you really were, Noah said. Not because I deserve another chance. He handed me the photograph. I think you should keep it. I studied the faded image before slipping it into my jacket pocket. Thank you. He took one slow breath. I don't expect anything else. You shouldn't. He smiled sadly. I figured. As he turned toward his car, he stopped once more. For what it's worth, you were the best father I ever had. The words landed years too late. There was no celebration inside me. No victory. Only a quiet sadness for everything that could have been. I hope one day, I answered, you become that kind of father for your own children. His eyes filled with tears. I'll spend the rest of my life trying. He drove away, leaving me standing beneath the rain with a photograph in my pocket and a strange peace settling inside my chest. For the first time since that awful dinner, I understood something important. Closure doesn't always come from getting your family back. Sometimes it comes from finally hearing the truth after you've already learned to live without needing it. I walked back to my truck and drove home to Emily. Not because there was no past waiting behind me, but because my future was finally waiting ahead. I kept Noah's photograph in the top drawer of my desk. Not on display. Not hidden. Just somewhere between memory and acceptance. For weeks, I told myself our meeting outside the grocery store had closed the final wound. He had apologized. I had forgiven him. We had walked away without anger. That should have been enough. But forgiveness is not a door that swings open once and stays that way. Some mornings, it feels complete. Other mornings, the past returns with muddy boots and walks through every room of your mind. Emily never asked me to throw the photograph away. She understood that loving her did not require me to pretend I had never loved anyone before. Then Haley called. I barely recognized her voice. She was 19 now, but she sounded younger than she had when I left. Brandon, can we talk? She did not call me Dad. I was grateful for that. The word would have felt dishonest. We met at a quiet diner near my office. I arrived early and chose a table beside the window. She came 10 minutes late wearing an old coat I remembered buying for her during her final year of school. The sleeves were too short now. She sat across from me and kept her hands beneath the table. You look well, she said. So do you. It was a polite lie. Her face was pale. Her eyes were tired. The confidence she once carried had been replaced by something cautious. I heard you saw Noah. I did. He told me what happened. I waited. Haley looked around the diner, as though hoping someone else might speak for her. Mom is getting worse, she finally said. I felt my body stiffen. Sick? No. Angry. Bitter. She talks about you constantly. She says you abandoned us. She says Emily stole the life that should have been ours. I leaned back. Emily stole nothing. I know. The answer came quickly. That surprised me. Haley lowered her head. I used to believe Mom. I thought you were punishing us because we didn't love you enough. But after the house was gone, she started telling everyone you had promised to support us forever. I made no such promise. I know that too. A waitress placed coffee between us. Neither of us touched it. Haley took a breath. I came because I owe you something. An apology? The truth. Her eyes met mine. That night when you heard Noah and me talking, I knew you were in the hallway. The diner seemed to disappear. I heard only the quiet hum of the refrigerator behind the counter. You knew? She nodded. I saw your reflection in the microwave door. My hands tightened around the edge of the table. Every cruel word returned. Walking wallet. Not family. Too attached to leave. You kept talking, I said. Yes. Why? Her lips trembled. Because I wanted you to hear it. That answer cut deeper than Noah's words at dinner. I had spent months believing their conversation was private cruelty. Careless arrogance spoken when they thought I was absent. But Haley had aimed it at me. Deliberately. I was angry. She whispered. You had told Mom I couldn't go on a school trip because my grades were bad. I wanted to hurt you. I knew the one thing you cared about most was being part of the family. So you took that from me. Yes. No excuses. No attempt to soften it. Just truth. I looked through the window at traffic moving beneath a gray sky. I remembered braiding her hair once when Melissa was sick. I remembered sitting outside her bedroom after nightmares. I remembered the first time she called me when she needed someone to pick her up from a party. She had known where to strike because she knew how much I loved them. I thought you would get upset, she said. I thought you would yell, then forgive us like always. I never believed you would actually leave. That was the problem. She wiped her eyes. We thought your love made you weak. My anger should have risen. Instead, I felt tired. Not the exhaustion of work. Something older. Something final. Why tell me now? Because Noah is trying to become better, and I'm still blaming everyone else. I don't want to become Mom. For the first time, I saw fear in her face. Not fear of losing money. Fear of becoming someone who could destroy love and still call herself the victim. I can't fix your relationship with your mother, I said. I'm not asking you to. I won't pay her debts. I know. And I won't rebuild what we had. Her tears fell silently. I know that too. She reached into her bag and placed a small envelope on the table. Inside was a check for $300. What is this? My first repayment. For what? For everything. I pushed it back toward her. You could work your entire life and never repay 9 years. Her face collapsed. I softened my voice. Because love was never alone, Haley. She stared at me. I don't want your money. I want you to remember what you did with my trust. Then never do it to another person. She folded the check and returned it to her bag. When we stood to leave, she hesitated. Do you hate me? I looked at the young woman I had once considered my daughter. No. Do you love me? The question almost broke me. I love the child I raised, I said. But I don't know the woman standing in front of me yet. She nodded through tears. That's fair. We walked outside together, then separated without an embrace. As I drove home, I understood that apologies do not restore the past. They only reveal whether someone is brave enough to face it. So tell me, When a person finally admits they wounded you on purpose, is honesty enough to earn another place in your life?